and it popped open. I never saw it pop open. Of course, when you hit the forehead, it's everywhere.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Morning,
It always
Mr.
looks so much
Gay.
worse.
I didn't want to write that first couple of days.
Okay.
All right, we are live, and I will call this meeting July 8th, 2025, Fiscal Court regular meeting to order. And Madam Clerk, do we have a quorum, and has this been properly advertised?
Yes.
All right, good deal. This morning, I'd like to call on Magistrate Cullen to have our invocation, please.
Kind gracious Heavenly Father, we are grateful that we are here today, and we ask that you will put a blessing upon us as we do the work of this county, and remember all of those that put us here and the work they ask us to do. Heavenly Father, there is many, many things in this world that need your love and your care and your overall being to help people get through the things that are happening. We ask a special blessing on those in Texas that are suffering with tragic loss of life and many other things, and we ask that you be with them and be with the nation as we heal together and help them as much as possible. And we ask that you continue to bless our first responders and our military, that you will keep them out of harm's way as much as possible. And we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And today we have a lovely guest with us. We have Lucy James Davis, and she is going to come up and lead us in our pledge. So Lucy, she's a third grader at Woodlawn, and her parents are Will and Carrol Ann Davis. Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you so much. Now, can you tell us who you have with you today? Who did you bring with you? Who's sitting here? Can you tell us who it is? Your mom? Your mom? Okay. Is that little brother? Okay. And what about the lady on the end? Grandma! Right. And Grandpa! Okay, you brought the whole family. If you'll come back here with me, we're going to take a picture. Okay, we're going to look at Miss Julie right there. You hold your certificate. There you go.
Wow.
Thank you. All right, thank you so much. You are welcome to stay and be entertained, or you can leave and go do something fun.
Thank you all.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. It's always good to have kids in the fiscal courtroom. And my phone is doing something crazy over here. It's like recording everything I say.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have the whole transcript on my phone. Yeah,
Do that one.
please. All right. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Hey, who put Grumpy Old Man on the TV?
So I probably should announce that we have Magistrate Gay teleconferencing in. Good morning. Glad you're here with us. Feel free to comment anytime. Just let us know. All right. Approve our prior meeting minutes, and we have one from January. Lord have mercy.
I'm not that.
Could you say another prayer, Master Cullen?
Apparently I forgot some stuff.
Specifically for me? All right. June 24th and
can't
June
have
26th. Do a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Master Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Master Bodner, any discussion on either set? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Minutes are approved.
You're going to be my second here.
All right, approve budget transfers, Ms. Shannon.
I have budget transfers from last fiscal year to clean up before I submit financials to the LG. And it's in the amount of $56,125.87.
Okay, we have a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Master Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. And budget transfers?
Cash transfers, I have
Yeah, cash transfers.
general fund to the road department, $100,000. The the general fund to the jail, $200,000. From the general fund to EMS, $200,000. General fund to fleet is $20,000. And then I'd like to transfer $16,156.85 from the opioid account to the EMS for Terry Dunn's salary fourth quarter.
Okay, all right, is there a motion to approve?
I make a motion.
Magistrate Bodnar, is there a second?
I'll second.
Magistrate Sleeper, any discussion on the cash transfers? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, and welcome back to our finance officer, Miss Elena,
Hey,
has our bills. Glad to see you back.
I am happy to be back. I miss the ocean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather be on the beach. All right, so today's bill packet, you all got a total of $1,487,532.99. We're gonna have two add-ons to that. We're gonna go ahead and pay the city of Danville for their E911 in the amount of $2,074.38. We also had an HIA reimbursement submitted for $100, so that will bring your grand total to $1,489,707.37.
Judge, I'm gonna ask if we can get a copy of the bills, because we only got 2 pages
Yeah.
instead of 4.
Mine are back to back.
But it's,
Okay.
On
No, I
here,
apologize.
It
we
just
only
shows
have
2
2.
pages.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right, yeah,
Okay,
you can.
So,
I can do that. Do you want just the summary like I
You want to
normally do?
postpone the?
yes,
Please.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, you'll get
That's-
copies for everybody, and we'll come back,
Okay,
okay? All right, thank you.
you're welcome.
All right, next up, we have a fire board appointment, and I'd like to present John Feather as the appointee. Daniel Sims' term is up, and John Feather has agreed to serve on the fire board. So I'd like a motion to approve.
Make that motion.
Magistrate
Second.
Harmon, second by Magistrate Cullen. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. John is here. John, would you like to say anything? No. Okay. John is
Thank you very much.
There you go. He's a previous firefighter, back several years ago, served on the fire department, so he's familiar with what the fire department does, and he'll be a good appointee for the county. So the term ends June 30th, 2028. And if you'll come over here, Miss Julie likes to get photo opportunities.
Pictures?
Yes, she makes you Facebook famous.
I'm very happy.
There we go, thank you.
and this is
Thank
our,
you so
this is our
much. Thanks
county
for being
appointment.
here.
Thank you.
Judge,
Yes,
it's our county appointment.
yes,
Okay.
county appointment.
Thanks.
John, which of those sections are you from? Over on the right? I'm sorry.
Barksville?
Oh,
I
that's
used to
good.
be.
Yeah,
Used to be.
previously.
I'm up in 5 now.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
City boy?
Because Phil was,
Country boy to the city.
well, Barry was my magistrate, and then when he realigned, I think it's Mr. Ellis now.
Okay,
Oh, okay, good.
okay.
Well, I'm one though, so
Oh, well, I'm kind of mixed
yeah,
up.
if you're in 5, that's,
Yeah.
No, I'm not in 5.
You're in 1.
I mean, look at that.
Come on up closer. West Danville, Green Acres. Where are you at in there?
I'm right here.
Oh, you're, okay, so you are Combs District, yeah, yeah.
well,
All right.
call me anytime. Welcome. Thank you, sir.
Speed
Speed
dial.
dial, that's right. Thank you, Mr.
No
Feather.
potholes in your area, are there?
Oh, not yet. You'll be the first to know. Thank you all.
Thank you, appreciate it. Mr. Sleeper, could you have Sheriff Bottom come in? Come join us.
Reinforcements.
Yeah.
Boy, he sure did. He sure did. Y'all, excuse me one second, I gotta find. Hold on, I'm just gonna read here. Okay, so I'd like to do a special recognition at this time.
I pass it.
And before I do that, I want to read the outline of the event that happened that we're doing special recognition for. So this is a day of event that happened with Sheriff Bottom, and we have our Danville Fire Marshal, Scott Lawson, in the back. So this pertains to these two first responders. Sheriff Bottom reports, I was loading my girls into my truck when I heard Deputy Ray advise dispatch that the vehicle and occupants he was out, had just seen a tornado. Confirmed tornado touched down in Washington County with multiple casualties and was not far from where they were. At this time, I had to find someone to take my girls to school. While traveling towards the call, my wife and I met on the side of 150 and had to move the car seats and girls to her car so I could continue to help in any way that I could. After that, I activated my emergency equipment and drove to the marathon in Perryville because I had to get diesel due to being on empty. I knew that I would probably be there for a while and needed to ensure my vehicle could be used at its full potential. I'm very thankful that I did. After getting fuel and not paying for it at the time, I then continued on to the call with my emergency equipment activated. Upon arrival, I went to the western entrance of Long Run Road in Washington County, and while turning in, I met 4 or 5 other emergency service vehicles, with the lead vehicle being Washington County Fire Chief and Danville Assistant Fire Chief Michael Mulholland. The chief said, "Sheriff, come with us," and he pointed at the kid sitting in the passenger seat and said his sister is missing and we have to go in the back way to this house. I then turned around and followed them, and we turned into Coyle Lane and began the back way to his residence. The road was almost impassable with multiple trees and debris in the gravel road. We got to the end of the road where we had to go through the last resident's backyard, then through multiple fields, and we almost got stuck several times, but finally made it to our destination. Upon arriving at the scene, I exited my vehicle, immediately smelled and heard a very loud noise, and found out quick it was a 500-gallon propane tank that was leaking at a high rate. It was also pouring down rain. I got my chainsaw out of my truck and made sure I had fired it up before we began the search in case it was needed. As I started to walk towards the concrete slab where the house once sat, I noticed 2 large 500-gallon gas and diesel tanks on their side, along with downed power lines. At the time, we didn't know if they were still hot and found out later that they were. I started towards the backyard, which was about a 45-degree large slope toward a fence line. Fire Marshal Scott Lawson stated that he and I should start searching on the other side of the fence line and follow the destruction path. At this time, I thought to myself, I need to know her name and how old she is. I turned to her brother and asked her name, and he said Gloria, and then asked how old she was, and he stated 3 years old. My heart immediately sank, not only because it was more likely she would be dead, but also I have a 3-year-old. I turned back towards the house on the incline, dropped my chainsaw, dropped to my knees, and began to pray. Father God, please let us find this little girl and find her alive. I don't care what it costs me, but please let us find her alive. Amen. I got up, I went over to the fence, and started to search with Fire Marshal Lawson. We were about 30 yards apart, headed down the holler. We both began towards something, shouting her name multiple times. The terrain was covered in downed trees and a house that was ripped to pieces. Every step I took, I would sink down into the trees and debris because it was stacked so high. After about 5 to 10 minutes, Scott and I heard her voice say, "I'm here." We both looked at each other without saying it out loud. We said, "She's alive." Now all we need to do is find her. I kept asking her to make noises so we could get to her. I was closing in towards Fire Marshal Lawson and got to about 10 to 15 feet from her when he said, "Bottoms, I got her, I see her." She was on the side of a tree that you couldn't put your arms around and underneath one of its tree limbs. She was located about 600 to 800 feet away from her residence. Later it was found out that she was in an upstairs bedroom before being thrown from the house. Scott picked her up and then grabbed the back of my gun belt, and I began the lead to pull them up the steep terrain. We got to another large tree about halfway up, and it's then where I climbed over the tree and he handed her to me. I grabbed the back of his belt and the lead pulled up the rest of the way to the top. Once we reached the top, Scott said, "You take her, you have blue lights and can get there faster." I told her brother to get in my back seat and hold her because we were going to the hospital fast. I then advised dispatch of our situation and told them to notify the emergency room that we were coming. When we were at the impossible for an ambulance to reach or anything else other than a 4x4, her condition at the time was beyond stopping for an ambulance once we reached the main road, and there weren't any, to my knowledge, on scene yet. While en route to the hospital, I radioed the Perryville Police Department chief and asked him to shut down the traffic lights so we could come through Perryville without any unnecessary stops. Deputy King and Chief Hatter shut down both traffic lights, making it very easy for us to go through Perryville. I feel like they need a sheriff's accommodation for their much needed help. While about halfway to the ER, her brother stated, "I don't like her breathing." I turned back and looked at the time. She was labored breathing. I then asked him to put her right over his shoulder, and that's when she took a very large deep breath and started after to breathe better again. Once at the hospital, we got her inside, and then she was sedated, and they got her stabilized. I stayed there and helped unload people and help with security until she was then transported to UK. It was found that she had multiple fractures in her neck and vertebrae, along with a collapsed lung. I then cleared from the hospital and went back towards the scene to see if I could assist again. Thank you all for allowing me to read that. If you don't hear that, you don't understand the complexity of the situation. Every day, these guys get up and they don't know what's going to happen, but they go do their job and they do it well. So we want to honor with a certificate of heroism with Boyle County Sheriff Taylor Bottom and Danville Fire Marshal Scott Lawson. Me and Taylor are the crybabies in the family, so. This certificate says, in recognition of extraordinary courage, swift action, and selfless service during a life-threatening tornadic event, during which your bravery directly saved the life of a young girl. On behalf of a grateful community, we commend your unwavering dedication to duty, your compassion in the face of crisis, and your fearless commitment to protecting those in need. With deep appreciation, we honor your heroism and dedication.
Okay, sorry.
Steve, can you go to the Steve, are you photobombing? Steve, you're perfect. You were perfect. Thank you. All right.
Don't do it against you, ma'am.
All right. I don't like to hear it again. All right. All right. So thank you both for your service. Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Powell?
Yeah, come on up.
Well, I wanted to take the picture.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you guys. And I'll give you all an opportunity if you'd like to say anything.
I'm pretty simple, sweet, my main concern is like the community supporting us, and without them, that means a lot. But at the end of the day, it's each one of y'all that gives us the opportunity to do our job by supporting us with funding. Without funding, we wouldn't have nothing. So, like I said, we're not in it for the money, because if you look, we can probably get some government assistance. But no, it's about the heart and passion, but we gotta have funding to do the job. And again, y'all make it happen. Thank y'all for supporting us.
Thank you. Thank you.
For once, I'll be short. To echo what Scott said, just we couldn't do our job without you all, and the I guess the trust that you put in us to do our job correctly. But I think I forgot to say there were actually 11 people in that house that were all thrown out, and I guess I wouldn't feel right without saying, the brother, I don't know I need to go measure, but how far he was thrown out and how far he ran down the driveway. The driveway was super long. The reason we had to go in the back way is because their bridge is kind of like a concrete land bridge, and it was impassable due to the flooding, and he swam across that to get help. And then remembered all that was going on to be able to go through the back way to get help there. So family of 11 there, and father with 3 other of the children were out. They had left at morning at like 4 something to go to work. So it could have been horrible. It was horrible. We did lose a life, but I'm very thankful that I was there for a reason. Scott was there for a reason. So.
But any given day, it could be any of us. So thank you both for your service.
And I will say this: as a first responder, what I did on the side of the road is pass my family up to go to another one, and that's special to me. So thank you all.
Welcome.
Sorry, I got to go.
Thanks for being here, guys. Good moral support. And Landon. And hey.
She's being shy today.
She's not gonna say. She's not gonna tell Uncle Trille hi today.
She's right here. She's being very shy.
She knows where I'm at. She's just avoiding me. Yeah.
I feel her energy.
You're saying she's smart, right?
Said what I said.
All right, next up, Shepherd's House. Bryce Gibson.
Well, actually, Jared.
Oh, Jared, okay, Jared, all right.
Bryce for you.
Quarterly update and a special presentation.
I'm gonna start y'all with this, and obviously have to get more legs on it. But about 2 weeks ago, I took a phone call from the vice president of Hearst Communications. If you're my age, y'all remember Patty Hearst, but her family is probably the largest production company in the United States. They caught a story about the Shepherd's House. Called me, asked me a few questions, and it kind of took on legs itself. But anyway, they are going to send somebody down here. Long story short, they're going to look at 2 things. They're going to look at the Boyle County day reporting program that Barry and I put together a while back. But they are amazed. They cannot believe that there is a community in the United States that actually takes care of their sick. I told them you have to see it to believe it. I said you can read stuff about communities, but until you actually see it in action, where no human being is denied treatment, it's basically free. If you think about it, it's free, because you may end up in an inpatient treatment center, you may end up over there, but you may start over in the jail and then move your way out. So they're coming in, and what they're talking about doing, and obviously you guys got to allow them to do it, which means when we talk, you have to sit down with them and decide if that's something you want to do. I said, we don't want to be the Chrisleys. I said, we're not interested in you poking fun at us, but we are interested in you telling the story if it'll help other communities and help other people. So it would be a 8 to 10 episode type TV show that takes place in Boyle County, that kind of starts with the beginnings of the program, and then they actually want to see some of the outcomes and some of the people that have graduated the program and went on to do good things. So that's the first thing I'd tell you. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what that looks like, other than I had a conversation, and they're coming to town, and I think they're going to invest $100,000 and send a crew in here to do 6 weeks worth of work. And then when they get back to the office, they'll decide exactly what stories they want to tell of everything they saw. So that was first and foremost. And then I'll give you the report. You're averaging at the day reporting program, you're averaging 30 to 35 clients a month. That's a little bit misleading, because some of the people come off of your roster when they end up in Lexington. So you may start over there and end up in
We'll give them a trophy of some sort.
What time are your Friday foods?
About 11:30 is when we start till the food runs out. Guaranteed by noon. You know, it's kind of, you know how all of our schedules are, so, but we try to start serving by noon. We pray it in and then start serving food, and love to see y'all.
An interesting fact on your race, my brother back in Delaware, he likes to go and do different races, and I was telling him about this a couple of years ago, and he says, "Oh yeah, I heard about that race. All the way out in Delaware, you hear about the Shepherd's House race at Cain." So I shared that with Roger before, and I was like, "That's pretty cool."
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is real cool.
Well, I don't know, but if you all realize, United Way does not receive federal, state, or local funding. Every dollar we receive is a dollar that's donated by somebody in our community that wants to make our communities better. So a lot of my job is literally looking at ROI, like what is their return on investment? Because I stand in front of you and say your dollars are making an impact, so we need to make an impact. We spend a lot of money on our Getting Ahead program. It's our Life 101 program. And it takes people from generational poverty all the way, hopefully, to self-sustainability. So when you all are thinking about, I know Jared read off a number of I mean, that's a ton of people that you're impacting. But if you change the life of one person, think of the generational impact that that has. And I don't know how many dollars were spent on Diana's, or invested in Diana's travels from when she got here for a year and a half. I mean, how much was spent on jail and law enforcement? But literally, it takes such a small investment to make a difference in somebody's life. And so the program that Diana and I were in, she read a poem. I don't know if you all heard this before, but I didn't believe she wrote it. So I feel really bad about that, so I'm sorry. I apologize many times. It was, you'll see, this year she's going to read one of them. I mean, I've read a lot of poetry by people that were scholars and had training and all of this, and hers blew that away. It was just so emotional, so raw, so insightful. Diana is so talented, so smart, and has such potential. And if it weren't for you all, she would not have reached that potential because she would have never been at United Way. So thank you to Shepherd's House for making that possible. She does have a book. It is a joint project between United Way and Diana. It started out being 5 pages, ended up being 114.
And they're for sale.
It is for sale if you would like one. Diana not only now is, you know, I talked about that return on investment, that she's not costing the community any money. Diana is now returning money to the community. She and Bryce came to me a couple weeks ago, and Diana said, "I really want to do something. I've got money to invest back into the community." She and I work on our budget, just about weekly.
Yeah.
Diana has a small amount, but it's kind of like that widow's mite, right? Because Diana literally took her tithe money and wanted to invest it back into the homeless population. And so United Way matched that times 100, and Diana and Bryce have now taken basic essential necessities into the homeless camps. We have them available at all of our harm reduction facilities in all 4 counties. But again, if it weren't for you all, that wouldn't make it possible. So now she is a contributing member of society and has something very important to share with you.
That's awesome. All right, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to give instead of take. And I feel like I've done that, you know, a lot in my lifetime. This poem is, it's about trying to make amends to my family, to people that I've hurt, you know, and to myself, and just the guilt and stuff that comes along with all that. But it says trying to make amends. And it says, "I could never say I have arrived, but at least I'm on my way. Every day is a different struggle, but better than yesterday. I never meant to hurt my family. I never meant to hurt myself. It's hard to live with all the shame and especially the guilt. I will continue to go forward. It's much better than the past. But if my story can help another, only then will I go back. My past is something I cannot change, a future I cannot see. But I'm spending every moment trying to become a better me. Tomorrow will be different. It's the very least that I can do to say that I'm sorry for hurting me and you."
Thank you very much. Thank you.
She has her first official book signing next Friday in Mercer County at the Chamber. This Friday in Mercer County at the Chamber at 10 o'clock. Right.
All right, that's a good deal. All right, I've already got the book. I don't know if your signature's in, so I may have to come back and get you to sign it.
I will, definitely.
And there are a lot of just wonderful, heartfelt poems in that book. So, yeah, thank you. All right. Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate it. We'll see you. We'll see you around.
Thank you.
Stephanie, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, I want to back up before we get to planning and zoning, if that's okay with Ms. Hannah, and approve our bills. All right, so you all got your sheets now? Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion.
Measure Cullen, is there a second? Measure Sleeper, is there any discussion on the bills as presented?
Yeah, the only question I had was on
Okay.
air evac. It shows up in 2 different spots.
Okay.
Let me go back to it. Hold on. There is,
On page 1, at the very top.
and then page 4 is another one. No, no.
Okay.
There more?
There should be 4 different spots for 4 different funds.
Okay,
So our air evac membership,
Mhm.
and then there's the insurance air evac. What's the different ones? There's, because
different departments,
Okay,
01 and
General fund,
03.
There's
road
two,
department employees,
78.
jail employees, EMS
so,
employees.
okay, that's good. It's broken down by, okay,
By department, yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, there's.
And the Air Evac insurance you're seeing there, that's the name of the account. With the Air Evac membership is the claim description. So that's how we're describing the claim out of this appropriation line.
Got
of the
it.
budget.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now, Miss Hannah Gray, come on down. Hannah is our new planning and zoning director for anybody that has not met her yet. And she is here to do something.
Yes, I'm here to recommend the approval of an amendment to the joint zoning ordinance. And it's just to add the language that both the property owner and the applicant must attend the public hearing, and add either or may sign a limited power of attorney in-house to their representative as stated specifically in the attached as an exhibit. And this is just to allow people to kind of hire their own attorney to come for the planning and zoning and board of adjustments, so they don't have to attend every single one if they can. So.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Master Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Master Harmon, is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you.
Question.
Yes.
So, I've been working with Lisa, Lisa's fantastic. I don't know how often you guys get to work with her, but she's great. Every time I talk to her, she just takes care of stuff right away, so we really appreciate her. We've had several Airbnbs that are popping up out in the county that are not following the going through planning and zoning and getting the approval. A lot of them are outside people that just buy a house and set up shop. So I think you have one in process that's either they follow the rules or they have to basically, do something else with the property. And so there's another one that I found last night. But when I was talking with Lisa, I kind of asked her some questions. I said, well, what happens if, somebody doesn't really abide by this? And, she said, well, we can just keep sending them letters. So I don't know how the court feels about this, but on the city side, there's some teeth in their language about this kind of stuff, but there's not on the county side. There's no fines, there's no penalties, so there's none of that stuff. So I'm happy to make the recommendation of the motion that we look and ask, it goes back to your group to see about adding some language into that ordinance where, and others, where we actually have some teeth in these ordinances, not just not just like we're going to keep sending letters forever. So, so I don't know if you want that in the form of a motion or if you want to discuss it or whatever, but.
Well, let's do a motion and then we can discuss it.
All right, that's my motion.
It's your motion, all right. Motion by Magistrate Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Ellis. Any discussion? Everybody good with that?
And this goes for not just the, I wasn't referring just to the Airbnb section. Anything in there that really kind of makes y'all's job easier. I mean, it's just the two of you.
Absolutely.
So, you know, if you're having to chase people down and whatever.
Yeah, and hear it secondhand. Yeah.
Well, yeah, not only that, but if you're having to keep going after these people
Yeah.
and deal with them over and over, and you're spending a lot of time on it, then, you know, we make your job easier too.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
And repetitive people, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Repetitive people, just, you know, there's only two of them, so they can't keep going after the same, you know, send a letter, send a letter, send a letter. But it's anything in that ordinance that you feel that lacks any sort of teeth that would help you do your job and help us enforce those ordinances, that's what we're looking for.
That'd be great, yeah, and I'm hoping to kind of start those kind of processes to ensure what exactly what you're talking about, is just ensure that we know what's going on.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
appreciate
especially in the county, so.
Yeah, thank you.
That'd be great, okay, awesome.
And Hannah, if you didn't tune in yesterday to our special call meeting, are you aware about the discussion we had about the 3 roads?
I had not, I heard
Okay.
there was a special meeting, but I didn't know.
It's really critical that, particularly at minute number 29, I think, is when Magistrate Cullen, his district, began to speak. And there's a lot there that I think you'll just want in the cobwebs of your mind as things move forward.
Absolutely, yeah,
Thank you.
I'll take a look at that.
Okay, so everyone in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you,
Thank
Hannah.
you.
Good to see you all.
Mark Gordon. Morning.
Good morning, how are y'all this morning?
Good, how are you?
You brought
All right. Here comes the cow.
Moral support.
Yeah, that's
My
right.
back up, I'm in trouble.
A lot of gray.
Well, them's 2 good ones to have.
That's right.
All right.
The reason I'm here this morning, we had a bid opening for painting the exterior of the buildings at Fred Cain. We actually had 6 bids. And I'm gonna go with the lowest, recommending Winter Circle Painting out of Lexington at $56,703. Next lowest was Tommy Little at $66,000, so he's $10,000 higher.
Oh, because it says 24 on our sheet. Okay, so you gotta
That
have
was only for
64. I
building
see
two.
that now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see that.
and I just need approval.
So Winter Circle.
I'll make the motion so that we can have a discussion.
All right. Motion by Magistrate Ellis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion?
Do we know if this outfit's worked in Boyle County before?
Not in Boyle County, but they did have 3 recommendations from some very big companies in Lexington. They work for UK and different ones.
Good.
They have certificate of insurance and
Absolutely,
all that.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I don't know if you're aware that we're gonna paint the recycling building will be white with a green stripe, the recycling green. And our road department will be black with a gold stripe.
They have been working in Boyle County because they paid bill. So
Okay.
they have
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I've seen them around.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion to go with Winter Circle Painting for the exterior of Fred Cain Building signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Black, did you say, for you all?
Uh-huh.
Black
Not
and
gonna
gold.
make it, not gonna make it hot, huh?
It should, I mean, it's
Okay.
insulated.
Black.
Pink? Pink? Hey, I'll vote for pink.
We can do black with a hot.
Black it is.
stripe.
And I'll filibuster against.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mark.
Mark.
we need to get a copy of their contractor license. Make sure they got a contract.
Okay, thank you.
Things to do.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Johnson, Public Works.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I'm here for salt bids.
All right.
KCO, of course, you all know KCO puts on salt bids, and they come up with the top 3 they kind of recommend. They're all within, it looks like, top to bottom of those 3 is around $2 or something like that. So I would like to recommend what we had last year. They was real easy to work with. Of course, they had a little salt shortage, and they really came through and got us over the hump of going on. So I would like to go with the Magic of Kentuckiana. I know it's the highest one on here, but they also, within $2. But they were real good to work with, and so I would like to work with them again on getting our salt.
I'll make that motion. Or a second.
Okay, I have a motion by Magistrate Ellis, a second by Magistrate Cullen. Any discussion on the salt bids?
Roger, what percentage are we gonna get treated versus regular?
Well, it would all depend. What I normally like to do is just buy the normal salt up till middle of January. Of course, that's when you get into your colder days, and then I would like to kind of change over to maybe a little treated salt then. Of course, it helps out a lot more, and then you can kind of play with it from there. But I'm let's just say maybe 40%.
Good.
Maybe.
We're due a winter. We really are due a pretty serious winter.
Last winter was pretty cold, and so.
Quite a bit of snow.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what we've done, I think we can say that the salt really helped us. Having that opportunity to get the treated salt, and really helped out by clearing the roads off nicely. So, yeah.
All right. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Magic
Thank
salt.
y'all. Magic salt. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. HR Director, Steve Griffin.
Morning. Most employees that work here have 12 weeks of family medical leave to use for illnesses or for baby bonding or things of that nature. We would like to, in addition to that, we would like to add an additional 12 weeks of baby bonding time beyond the FMLA for anybody that's been here at least a year. I can't remember the last baby we had from a county employee, but I'm sure we've got a few, 1 or 2, I don't know. I know we've got 1 coming over at EMS, I believe, but that's about it. So, but anyway, we were talking the other day about how important it is to baby bond, and a lot of mothers have to go right back to work and don't get a chance to do that. Fathers get to do it too, so anyway.
And if both parents work, they take the
share that
leave
time.
simultaneously.
They share that time.
They share the time.
Yes, they can take it all at once, but they share the 12 weeks.
Okay. All right.
So I'm asking approval for that policy change.
Paid 12 weeks?
I'm sorry?
Paid?
Oh, no. Only if I want, I can make it paid for vacation, but it's not paid time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just allowed them in addition.
We allow them to take off.
3 months.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is there a motion to
I'll make
approve?
a motion.
Master Bowden, is there a second?
Second.
Master Harmon, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Add it to our book.
Add it to the book.
All right.
Then also, just for discussion, attached a proposal for
You will send this out to all the employees,
Yes, I
so,
will.
okay, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I need to let them know.
Yeah.
The proposal for an adoption benefit program, I've sent that for you to look at, and there's really just for discussion. It's not to vote on necessarily today, but if there's any questions you had about that.
You want to just elaborate on it a little bit, like? the adoption assistance they can apply for? And
Yeah, basically, an employee can, if they want to adopt a child, and I don't know the last time we've had anybody adopt a child as an employee here in the county, but I know I've had experience with employees adopting children before, and it can get expensive, even if you take it through the foster program. I know I had a fellow I worked with who was fostering a child and wanted to adopt a child, and it cost him some money. You've got travel, you've got some medical stuff, it just adds up. And so this is just some way that we could help encourage people, or at least support them as they choose to adopt children. So
this is something you want us to consider, and then you'll come back to it?
Yes.
Because obviously it's not in the budget.
No, it's not. And you know, we can limit our exposure there by just, you know, and I think we've got something at the end of it. Budget limitations may restrict payments that year. So I may apply for it, but I don't have any money left in the budget, so I don't get it that year. So we could work around that as well.
Okay.
Again, we don't have that many adoptions that I'm aware of.
it's something we can consider, we can pass, but then we can set the effective date for next fiscal year.
Absolutely, yes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. That's all I have.
All right, thank
you.
you, Steve. Next up, Bill Nichols,
Entree.
IT Director Extraordinaire.
I'm here to get a motion to approve the couple of bills. The first one will be the Microsoft subscription that we have for our email, SharePoint, and other things. You have a copy of that bill in your thing from Protect.
Protect, okay.
And this one is a little higher than it was last year, simply because, as we discussed in the budget talks, we've added a layer of protection to the email system, which is that line item you see that's around $12,000. This will actually allow us to map, if an incident does happen, we can map where it's going and what it's doing to stop it in its tracks. But as we've seen with some of the stuff that we have to, a lot of people are clicking on links and opening up attachments, so we've got to do something to prevent the ransomware stuff.
Take Tom's tablet away.
Not me. Bill will tell you, I dump stuff every day.
Anyway, I'd like a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
$39,681.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion by Magistrate Cullen, second by Magistrate Sleeper. Any discussion on Protect
Questions?
services?
Nope. We
Just
discussed
a
a lot.
reminder that it was posted and on the news a couple of weeks ago that I think 19 million confidential addresses were somehow hacked, and all the more we need to invest in this every time that they get smart, and we got to get smarter.
Well, and one of the things you'll find, I mean, if you go through those articles about people that have to have paid ransomware, that have the encryption happen and all that, the very end of the article, the last paragraph says that somebody in the back corner opened up an email and clicked on the attachment. 90% of the time. So, but this will help prevent that, or it'll help us be proactive if somebody does that.
Okay. All right.
Can we add to go ahead and pay that?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I need to go ahead and pay that if it's approved, please.
Okay. All right, so motion is to approve it and add pay now.
Please.
Okay.
Upon delivery.
That's what I was gonna say, but no, that ain't right.
Yeah, well.
Pay now.
It's pretty close. I think the subscription actually ends middle of next month. So
Okay.
it'll be, whenever we get the invoice for it, should be in the next couple of weeks probably.
Okay.
So I'll make the motion, we approve and pay upon receiving invoice.
Thank you.
And I'll amend my second to that.
Okay, all right, so we have an amended motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
The Civic Plus piece that you are approving, and you'll notice that you'll see signatures on it from back in April. This is where Civic Plus, where we decided to go with the forms building program that they have for the Ethics Committee and their SOFI stuff, that we're also going to be able to use it for employment application and stuff. It'll be a really good tool for our website and doing these forms and stuff. I'm just asking for approval to go ahead and pay that.
Make a motion, we approve and pay upon invoice.
Now, what amount are we paying?
We are paying,
$11,000.
this is the one where we went round and round, but we're gonna pay, I think it's $12,275 for the initial term.
$11,275.
No,
No,
initial
that's
term.
the
It should be
reoccurring.
12,000.
$12,775.
Oh, sorry, 775.
Okay.
And the reason that initial term is a little more expensive is it involves some training, which I'm already in the process of doing.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion.
Yep.
Commissioner Cullen?
Yep.
We don't have a second.
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 Commissioner Sleeper? Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of the motion to pay Civic Plus signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And that was paid now.
You.
All two. Yeah, Bonnie. Okay, next up, I have a resolution to dissolve the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee. It was formed back a few years ago, and we didn't have a full-time person at the park or anything like that. So now that we have a full-time person at the park, we feel like we're a little more on our game and what's going on, and they report in and tell us things that need to do. The committee has been invaluable in the past by providing information and suggestions to the court on things that need to be done, but I feel like they've served their purpose, and now it's time that we can just depend on our full-time person plus Mark, our building maintenance guy. So. Resolution to dissolve the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee, whereas the Boyle County Fiscal Court established the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee in 2020, whereas the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee was created to assist the Fiscal Court with establishing policies and procedures for the management and programming of Constitution Square Park, and whereas members served faithfully for 5 years, giving Fiscal Court both their time and talents to improve the operations at Constitution Square Park, and whereas the Fiscal Court appreciates and thanks each member for their contribution, and whereas the Fiscal Court has established policies and implemented procedures from the committee's recommendations, therefore the committee has completed their assignment. Now therefore be it resolved by the Boyle County Fiscal Court that the Birthplace of Kentucky Committee be dissolved effective July the 8th, 2025. So I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Magistrate Ellis, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Bowden. Any discussion?
Every person, go ahead, Tom.
Well,
Tom was part of the committee. I'll go ahead and...
Judge Hunt assigned me, knowing my passion for history. And I could speak for an hour about Constitution Square, about the input that...
Green, amended reappointment order.
The reappointment order, the employees listed in red either were left off the original order, or the ones for the jail had received promotions in between when we created the list, and so we updated their rates.
Okay, so everybody in red is who we're approving. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. But they weren't very happy the first go around, were they? Magistrate Bowden, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Sleeper, any discussion?
Why is what's the differences on some are listed hourly and some are listed, I guess, is that salary?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Other people are now approved. They will be happy. Yeah. Okay, at this time, I would like for us to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61810, paragraph 1, paragraph F. Discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee, member, or student without restricting that employee, member, or student's right to a public hearing if requested. This exception shall not be interpreted to permit discussion of general personnel matters in secret. I have a motion.
Make a motion.
Magistrate Bowden, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Harmon. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. I would like to ask
did through all your trying times. That
Yeah, that's.
Tough.
I'm waiting on Bill to tell me we're live.
Okay. Thank you all.
Okay. We need a motion to return to regular session.
Make a motion.
Measure Bodner,
second, no action taken.
second, no action taken. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right, we are ready to start our magistrate reports, and we're starting with Magistrate Cullen today.
Can I make a motion, we go for a 5-minute recess?
Have a motion for a 5-minute
Second.
recess. Is there a second? Magistrate Ellis. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? We're in 5-minute recess.
Is the gang going here?
Who's that man in the back there?
Goes from the past.
Okay, we are back in general session, and we're going to start with our magistrate reports, and that would be Mr. Cullen. Magistrate Cullen up first.
I don't really have anything to report, which is fine with me today. I think the meeting yesterday went well. I did receive a lot of feedback from people after. So just to reiterate, we pretty much asked District 7 to kind of go back to the drawing board as a recap. And but yesterday's session was primarily just to make sure all of us were on the same page of what the District 7 had come up with, and where we feel they need to make the changes. So right now, no decision was made. They're going to go back and look at some other stuff and come back to us whenever we, have something from them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Magistrate Labor.
I don't have anything other than just wanted to express the pleasure in attending the gathering places reopening and being a partner of that, this fiscal court contributing to that and being a part of that was really great. That's all I have.
Good deal. Thank you. Magistrate Ellis.
Well, I'd like to echo Magistrate Sleeper. I'm embarrassed to say that in 6+ years, I've never actually gone into the gathering place. Folks, it's absolutely extraordinary. And our taxpayers should be thrilled with the small but significant investment that we've made to help them with their kitchen, because they serve so many people in so many ways. Far beyond that, I mean, my goodness, exercise room and just so many humanitarian issues go on in that extraordinary outfit. So thank you, and thanks to Ben Garan. I'm going to echo and go into some detail, Magistrate Cullen, even though it has nothing to do directly with my district. Yesterday was eye-opening, and thank you, Bill, for putting the map up so that anyone observing our proceedings after the fact will see 3 proposals for a very large, well over 600 acres in Magistrate Cullen's district, where considerations are being made for pursuing, I have great doubts about securing $35 to over $50 million for roads in Magistrate Cullen's district. I have learned that several years ago, when the fairgrounds was purchased by Danville, the Fair Board, the Boyle County Fair Board, was taking a look at that property, or a major chunk of that property that's outlined in blue, because we all love our Boyle County Fairgrounds. It's ironic, it's very interesting to me that they were looking at it with the access roads, plural, to what they might have had as a county fairgrounds, not seeing any impediments to folks coming from 18, 19 miles away in my district to come and enjoy all the proceedings of the annual Boyle County Fair. Couple that now with what we've just seen with the multi-billions and billions of dollars that have been pulled out of future federal budgets. And imagine being the delegation going to Washington in the next year or two to try and, hat in hand, ask for the least of the roads, $35+ million. Then you compare it to a development in that area that will bring jobs, that will be privately paid for, that we're getting some assurances would be completed in 5 years. And this is the point that the public needs to understand. That any one of those three options, the state officials let us know yesterday, would most likely take 8 to 10 years for completion. And I will just suggest, from my own limited knowledge, that especially the one on the left side, that road selection, they'll be knocking on the doors of elderly constituents, new purchasers, and many others who just dearly love the home that they bought there. And they'll be knocking on the door and saying, I'm sorry, we can't do the road, the state can't do the road without taking your property. I think there are huge consequences to that. And then as I look to the right side, my goodness sakes, look at all the properties that you would go through there, and who wants to drive all those miles. But the one that is most consequential is an investment that's already over $65 million, private sector $1 million, that is projected to approach $500 million of private investment and bring jobs into Kentucky or into Boyle County. Then you measure it against, if we build 100 houses within that circle, because the folks who are investing the nearly $500 million have been invaded, have been divided, and might pull back significantly on their nearly $500 million. And by the way, taxes would be secured by $500 million or more, versus, let's imagine 100 houses at $20 million for a tax base. Do we want the county and the city to realize taxes off of 20 million with housing, or do we want to gain taxes off at least one investor's tremendous efforts in that same area? So I think there are grave reservations that we ought to consider. I think it's reaching beyond the moon to think that we could secure $35 to $50+ million from federal budgets now that so many cuts have been made, and it's sensitive to Congress to try to come up there and get that money. So I just wanted to make a similar comment to the one that I made yesterday about my personal reservations about all the invasive things that would go on if that were to be pursued and take another 8 to 10 years versus something that can be realized within 5. I have a brief jail report. On June 25, we met at the jail, and it was Jailer Wolford, myself, Paula Bodner as committee members, and the inmate count that day was 148 total. Boyle County 56, Mercer 15, State 71, and am I correct now that we have no more unless it's an immediate need from Mercer?
Yes.
And other counties too. We discussed at some level of confidentiality the plans for the detention center, and we were invited and had a complete and just a tremendous tour, which I had done 3 years ago pretty extensively, but had not been done in some time since, and Paula as well was with us. And Jailer Wolford's just done an outstanding job on turning some of the difficult problems that we have and turning them into something new and much more comfortable for staff and for our inmates. So that's almost a humanitarian change. Paula, I'm sure you might have a comment or two.
No, I was amazed to see all the things Brian's done and appreciative of the job he's done. Brian, good job.
I make a motion for acceptance of the jail report.
Have a motion by Magistrate Ellis, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Bodner, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
And Judge, I'm short-winded today.
All right, thank you, Magistrate Ellis. Magistrate Bodner.
We had a great Junction City Matters meeting last night. We're getting really excited about the August balloons over the bluegrass, August 24th. It's going to be a really great event. It's not a balloon race, but it's a balloon event. And so we're finishing up. Brittany Kaufman, Brianna Feistretcher, and Jennifer Puckett have just taken that and just run with it, and they've done so many great things. I know it's going to be a great event. The mountain bike park, we're still working on that. I'm glad to see lots of groups meeting and talking about that. The 250-year celebration, we have our next meeting for the events on July the 17th at 2 p.m. in the library. We'd love to have anybody that would want to come in. Now, the library is doing an event on July the 21st at Junction City. It's from 6 to 7:30, and it's an artist event. So if you have kids or adults, no matter what your talent is, they're going to bring a canvas in and you can paint. So they encourage everybody to come out and do a painting event on the 21st. And it's the public library has been so great to us. We had a great event with the Ponderosa Speedway, the race with the bookmobiles. That was really cool. I took my grandkids to that.
My kids went too. They loved it.
Oh, it was fun, wasn't it? It was just a fun atmosphere. I'm sure they'll keep that up and keep doing more, I believe. July 22nd, you may see me down here. I'm gonna, July the 22nd at Junction City Elementary, we're doing books and body slams. So I might be out there wrestling. So that'll be exciting. Let's see, we had great fireworks at Junction City. I didn't get to go to the damn one, but I saw them from afar, so they looked great too. But I was had a lot of fun, like we always do at Junction City, watching so many people come out. And then as we travel there, everybody's out on their porches, and it's just a really neat time. And I'd like to do something that I should have done. I had 2 times to do this, but sometimes it just doesn't sink in. And so I thought, I should have done that. I should have said something first, and then when I really thought about it, no, this is something. I'd like to make a motion to make the current county administrator a grade 10 instead of a grade 9 position starting immediately.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, but I think that has to come from the Finance Committee.
Okay, so I can't make a motion to bring it up with the Finance Committee, or how do I?
Discuss it.
Okay, so how do we do that? Just now?
Well, yeah, we have a motion,
Okay.
you have the motion on the floor, so if you want to discuss it, I just think that the action will have to come from the Finance Committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's discuss it.
Let's discuss
Yeah, but we
it.
can discuss.
I think, as I looked at, and somebody asked me, well, why didn't you say something at the very first or when we were in the committee? Sometimes you look at all these numbers and they just blur together. I mean, we've seen 50 pages of information and numbers and people, and it just didn't sink in. And all of a sudden, when we're doing our second budget vote, it sunk in. And I was like, oh shoot, well, this shouldn't be here, this should be here.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, and now I want to do something about it. Now, how do I do it? So do I need to cancel that motion, or?
Well,
You can amend it.
yeah, as far as taking the action.
Yes,
You
okay.
know, we can discuss it, but
Okay.
then take it to the Finance Committee and let the Finance Committee bring the motion to
Okay,
the
good.
board. Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah. Could you repeat what it was again?
Okay. Now let me do the amended version. How about that?
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to take the issue of the grade for the county administrator position to the Finance Committee.
Okay, to increase it to what?
From grade 9 to grade 10.
Okay.
And I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor by Magistrate Bodnar, a second by Magistrate Ellis to recommend to the Finance Committee that the county administrator salary be taken from level 9 to level 10, and then the Finance Committee will pick that up and come back at a future date, and if they desire to make that motion.
Okay.
All right, so all those in favor of motion on the floor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. All right.
Wasn't Steve gonna look into that though? Wasn't that one of the things we asked where he was gonna research it more?
I think so.
So
Yeah.
who's the finance committee, we'll just have him report back on that too.
Yes, yeah, at your
Yes.
next Finance Committee meeting.
Cool.
That'd be good.
Yeah. Thank you. Is that all?
That's it.
Okay, thank you. Magistrate Harmon.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
I do have one quick question. Have we invited Roche to come to our next meeting? Roche Ford, about the block party?
Okay.
Block party's on the 26th, and we're meeting on the 22nd, right?
Okay.
Maybe
So we
we-
need to reach out to Richard.
Can we ask him maybe, he's always come in before and talked about it and hyped us up.
Yep, we can do it.
And then one other thing I failed to mention was on 7/10 Wilderness, Wilderness Distillery will be having its reopening of its new visitor center. They've been working on it. They've expanded it greatly and will be huge. Thursday the 10th, huge impact to this region as they're on the Bourbon Trail and stuff like that.
Excellent caterers will be there, by the way. I know them personally.
I worry about the help they get.
Okay, County Attorney, thank you for being here today.
thank you
Appreciate
all
it, Jenny. Yeah.
Welcoming me
Getting
always.
overtime today.
The only thing I have is for our cold check collection. I guess when we have a surplus or whatever's left at the end of the year. So I have a check for $1,024.36 to return to the fiscal court on a collection of cold checks.
All right, thank you very much.
That's all we have.
Okay.
It's always good.
County Administrator,
Did you report?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he started.
Missed it.
He started.
I
I felt
didn't
so
have much
bad,
to
I was
say,
like,
so-
oh, we missed it. Okay, I have two things. The first is, I reported at the last meeting that we received $45,392.20 in tax credit allocation. Jacob Pankey is here because we cannot access those funds and move to the next level until we fill out what's called a Part 3. And a Part 3 is that the work has been done, and I think we have to send pictures and all that good stuff.
Actually, no, we don't
And
have
it
to.
costs $375, and I've given that to Elena to put on the bill sheet, but I'd like you to approve that payment.
Make a motion to approve that.
I have a motion by Magistrate Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Magistrate Harmon. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Jacob, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thank
I
you.
want to explain a little bit about this. Last week, I got it in the middle of the meeting, and we were all excited, but Jacob is actually, we contracted him to do the cupola, to help us with the cupola and how we're going to get some reimbursement, some tax credits for that. And he said, well, have you done the roofs? And we were kind of like, no. And so Jacob is responsible for this $45,000. Now, we will not get $45,000. The way this works is you syndicate them, you sell them to a bank, because we don't pay taxes.
Right.
So a tax credit to us is not worth anything, but it is to somebody like a major financial institution or an investment firm or anybody that's for profit. So that project is out to bid right now, and so we will see what offers we get to buy our credits, and then there'll be an agreement, and then they'll pay, and we'll do all kinds of fun stuff. So, but Jacob is the reason why we're getting this money and deserves all the credit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Second thing I have is the sprinkler at Fred Cain. I submitted the paperwork and it was rejected and sent back because I submitted the project as one project and they would like it to be submitted as two separate projects with two separate fees. So the fees are going to be $285 more than what we approved. Building 1, which is recycling and fleet, is going to be $485. Building 2 is going to be $535. Has to be submitted online, payment put forth online Rusty's coming over to help me this afternoon because I can't find it. So what I'd like to do is get your approval for 2 payments and those amounts that total $1,020.
Make a motion?
Have a motion from Magistrate Bodner, is there a second? Second by Magistrate Harmon, any discussion? That has been put on Elena's bill list too?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? Motion carries.
Couple other little things. Some of the RFP projects that we've got on the docket, one is the pickleball project. Our architect that's doing the public safety building has done pickleball courts and is putting together a proposal for us. It might, if you all agree, when you see it, save us going through the whole RFP process because he is a professional service. So when I get that, I'll share it with you and you can help me decide whether you want to go to bid and see what else is out there, if we just want to use him to design it. We were approved for a picket fence around Grayson Tavern, so that'll be going to bid. And the judge is the one that really brought that in and pushed to get that put back. It used to be there, we've had some pictures, it's gonna be really charming and pretty.
So pretty.
That's the one that'll mask the HVAC unit?
No,
No.
this is
Oh,
where the shrubs.
I know where it is now, yeah.
Yeah, across the front of
Yeah.
Grayson.
Do you remember the shrubs that used
Yeah,
to hang
yeah.
over? Those are gone, so the picket fence, and it
Come back.
has to be handcrafted. It cannot be the picket fence panels at Lowe's. Somebody's gonna have to do it that knows.
But we can get them to do a fence
Yes.
around that at
It's
the
gonna
same
be
time.
neat, I promise.
One last effort, thanks to the committee.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. The bathrooms at White's Park, we're in the process of trying to put together what that's gonna look like. Of course, our ever-looming Buster Pike Bridge, working on that, and then geotechnical out on Wolford Road. So those are just some of the other projects that we're kind of pushing through, so.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Lots of things going
And
on behind the scenes.
Buster Pike almost set us back a little bit.
Yes, yes, they did.
The state actually came through on this when they were gonna require us to have another set of forms be signed, because one wasn't right, but thankfully Shane from the state was able to get approvals so that we're not gonna be delayed more, like we were gonna be delayed another month or two
Yeah,
with this,
yeah,
but,
yeah.
so thankfully.
Yeah, push that through, so we appreciate that.
And Judge Ephraim McDowell, and I might ask that you send a letter to the Department of Education,
Okay.
possibly utilizing previous judges that now serve on the board to help with this. They continue to get stonewalled by the Kentucky Department of Education on utilizing unused parts of KSD over by the boiler room as a staging. So we have a $120 million project that's in jeopardy or upgrade, because the Department of Education will not respond back to anybody. They started to, I think Mr. McKinney, or Judge McKinney, had inquired about it and it kind of started getting the wheels going, but now they're radio silent again.
Okay.
So whether you feel a letter from the court or something, and CC him, it would greatly help.
Yeah, we'll
this
do a
effort.
letter of support. See if we can get that moving along. Be glad to do that.
Is that,
Thank you.
is it holding the project up?
Yeah, they don't have a staging
Okay,
area.
So then before, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they need that area as staging, and it's not utilized for anything. And they've actually offered to make it look nicer once they're done with it, so.
Judge, my apologies, I missed out on something extremely important for the state fair. Corresponded this morning with Ally, and we are looking for ideally magistrates to serve a half a day on any of these 3 days. My wife and I are going to take the Tuesday of this week in August. The 17th from 3 to 8, the 18th from 3 to 8, and the 20th from 3 till 8 in the evening. You can almost get home before dark. We've done that in the evening like that and just had a wonderful time in the past. August 17th, 18th, and 20th. And Tina, do you have contact information for Ally so that folks will have her phone number?
I can get that.
Because she said
I have it.
she'd be happy to have that shared so that everyone will have that, not only for the state fair, but for anything else.
And that's August.
August 17, 18, 20th, and 22nd. 4 dates. I'm sorry, I missed that one.
What, 22nd, 3 to 8 too?
All of them are 3 to 8
Okay.
in the evening, yes, yeah. And I was remiss in not mentioning that Paula, Steve, Jason and I will be at, what's the name of the armory here?
American Legion, is it?
American Legion off of 33, just past, maybe a quarter mile past the roundabout. We're going to be on a panel tonight for anyone who comes who would like to ask about county issues. So hopefully we can fill that room.
What time is it?
6 o'clock, thank you.
6 o'clock at the American Legion on Spears Lane.
Just past the roundabout on the right.
Okay,
Thank you, Judge.
all right, you're welcome. Anybody else? Shannon?
No?
Good, okay. All right, I will close this out. I have signed up for the fair. My day is the 24th. I too attended the Gathering Place reopening. It was wonderful. The kitchen is just amazing, and everything that they've done, the new the workout room, it's all just
For the community.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, for the community. I also attended the Junction City Matters meeting last night. It was good attendance, and good ideas were flowing around the table, so it's moving right along. Don't forget, on July 15th is the Farm City Breakfast. If you haven't RSVP'd, you need to do that. We have continued meetings with JRA Architect for our first responder building. And then Paula's already said 7/17, the next America's 250th meeting. We'd love to have everybody at the meeting. Just throw out your ideas and be on a committee and help. It's going to be a wonderful event.
That's the events committee meeting.
The events committee. It's not the full committee?
Not the full committee, that's August 12th.
Okay, I was thinking that was the full committee. So this is the events committee on
Yes,
7/17.
I'll make sure about that.
Okay.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then who has made the
And the-
reservations for that committee?
Excuse me?
Who made the reservation? I don't know who on that committee is the chair.
Tony, I think.
Tony's chair?
I think it's
Okay.
Tony.
So he may have already done it, didn't he?
He said-
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Tony emailed, said, wanted to advise I've set the events committee meeting for Thursday, July 17th in the library conference room at 2. The regular meeting, the whole meeting is August 12th at 2 at the REC.
8/12 at 2. Okay. All right. Thanks for clarifying that.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Glad to have that. Okay, that's all I have. So we'll look for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Magistrate Cullen, is there a second?
Second.
Magistrate Sleeper. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you all. We're adjourned.
We had a long day today.